Okay, so everyone, welcome to Kailul Kol Shira in partnership with Breslov.org, and of course Yeshiva Terah Shimon. And okay, we're in Sefer Devarim, right? Right, we're in Sefer Devarim. This is Mishnah Torah, right? This is it's Rosh Chodesh Menachem of today. But we know that this really took place Moshe Rabbeinu started this on Rosh Chodesh Shvat. That's when this really started, right? The Moshe Rabbeinu this sefer took place over 37 days. Did you know that? Mm-hmm. The Medrash says It took place over 37 days until his Petira, which was Zayin Adar. Unbelievable, right? Unbelievable.
Aaron HaKohen's the outside.
Today, right? Today, yeah. Today, right? Oh yeah, Aaron HaKohen. Oh.
I thought that was the ninth of Av. No, Aaron Kohen. I thought that was the ninth.
No, Rosh Chodesh.
Rosh
Chodesh.
Yeah,
it's Rosh Chodesh.
Okay, I thought it was ninth of Av. Sorry. All right.
No, don't worry. It's okay. It's all right. It's okay. Don't worry.
Okay, whatever.
All right. So let's see. So there's so many things to talk about. Why Sefer Devarim is always read before Tisha B'Av, right? It's we always read Parshat Devarim right before Tisha B'Av, and we always work out the parshas that Devarim falls out before Tisha B'Av, right? Because it says in the parsha Eicha, he mentions Eicha in there with Moshe Rabbeinu. Okay, no, what are we going to do? We know that these days the mamash going to be turned into the biggest days of Simcha. We know that we have a Kabbalah from the Tzaddikim that the whole tkuf of the 3 weeks, the Bein HaMetzarim, and then the Tisha B'Av is going to be a Yom. It's going to be a Yemei Simcha. So hopefully we'll see it. We'll see it in our days. Hopefully it'll be this year, Be'ez Hashem. With the coming of Mashiach and Tchias HaMeisim and all the beautiful things. Okay, so let's see. So let's learn a little bit about the parsha, what happened over here. And Rav Nosson has a beautiful piece here that he says Achad Asa Yoim Me Chayrev. Right, it was 11 days from Chayrev. What was Chayrev? Chayrev is Har Sinai, right? We left the Har Sinai. We traveled for 11 days. And we really were supposed to go into Eretz Yisroel, but it didn't work out that way. It didn't work out that way. So let's see what happens here. Masha Karim Parshas Devarim Kaidim Tisha B'Av. Like we said before, mentioned a moment ago, why do we read this Parshas Devarim always before Tisha B'Av? He called Parshas Devarim Midaberes Mehaderech L'Eretz Yisroel. The whole idea of the Sefer, really the whole Sefer Devarim, it's Mishnah Torah, right? But the whole idea is it's all about Eretz Yisroel. And again, Moshe Rabbeinu was preparing Klal Yisroel when they get into Eretz Yisroel, all the mitzvahs of the Eretz, right? To know what to do, right? To know what to do. They had no idea, right? So Moshe Rabbeinu was telling them and giving them all the instructions through Sefer Devarim about the trumas and the maasros and all the beautiful things, the mitzvahs that are totally ba'aretz, okay? Yeah. And it's talking about that the derech Eretz Yisroel. Mavoy sham heitiv shekol teichacha shel Moshe sham hu ayidei shepogmu Yisroel ba'derech l'Eretz Yisroel. The whole teichacha, the whole rebuke that Moshe Rabbeinu is giving. And again, you have to remember something. Moshe Rabbeinu really held the rebuke back until this time. Moshe Rabbeinu didn't really do much rebuking all through his days, and even after the Ma'is Ha'egel, and even after the Meraglim, the Ma'is with the Meraglim, right? And even after he didn't give much rebuke. But now Moshe Rabbeinu is giving rebuke. Moshe Rabbeinu is giving, because now it's the end of his life, and we know that when somebody gives rebuke, it's the end of their life, especially if it's their last day. It's taken to heart, right? Yaakov Avinu, look at Yaakov Avinu, right? Yaakov Avinu, he gave when he knew it was Karev L'Lamos, right? He knew it was close to his death. So he called the boy, he called the Shvatim in, the Shiftei Kohen, and he told them, which he didn't do during his life. He didn't do that. Yaakov Avinu never gave them any rebuke, but the last day of his life he did. And as we see the same idea with Moshe Rabbeinu over here at this time. Okay, so Moshe Shem, who are Yidei Shepogmu Yisrael b'haderech l'Eretz Yisroel, that they made a pagam, they made a blemish. They made a blemish on their way to Eretz Yisroel. Right? In other words, like just simply to understand that Kadosh Baruch Hu said that the land is a very good land. And then they said we need to send spies. We need to see. What do you mean you need to see? That was a pagam in Eretz Yisrael right there. What do you mean you need to see? Hashem said it was good. Hashem says it was good. What do you need to see? Right? You ever think of that, Ernie? You ever think of that?
Right.
Hashem tells you it's good. I want to see it. I got to check it out.
If you can't rely on Hashem, who can you rely on?
Right. You said that so well. Oh, excellent, excellent. Bemis, you have to rely on the right. But derech so, that we weren't strong in our emunah. We didn't have a strong emunah. We didn't believe. We didn't have a good belief, a true belief. At Kodesh Barnea, right? We went from again, like we said, we went from Har Sinai, which was Chayrev, and we went to the mountain of Seir, right? We know Seir, that's a Har Seir, that's the place of Esav, right? Kodesh Barnea, Kamesha Perish Rashi Sham, Ein Lecha Derech Kitzara, right? There was no shorter way. In other words, we took the shortcut. This was the shortest way from where we were, from Har Sinai, to get there. We traveled the shortest way. The kol kachois shchina mislabetes bishvilchem lemaher bi'iatchem loretz. The Shechina was trying really so much to get us into Eretz Yisroel, because the Shechina Kedusha, we know the Shechina is really the compilation of all Nishmas Yisroel. And the Shechina wanted to get to save all of the problems. V'chein hoylech b'chol divrei teichachtoi b'chol hasidra kula shemaychiach oisam al shegamu ikov ba'derech lovay l'Eretz Yisrael. That we cause all of those stops. We cause all of those ikuvim. We stopped. We had all of those problems. We caused so many problems on our way to Eretz Yisroel. We kept complaining. We needed water. We needed meat. We needed, right? We kept complaining. All on our way to Eretz Yisrael. Ad shehuchachu lismameya sham arba'im shana. Until we had to wait in the desert for 40 years. You see that? We were mamish there. We were mamish there. Had we had strong emunah, had we have only had strong emunah, we could have gone into Eretz Yisroel. But we didn't have this strong emunah. Unreal. You see this, and we had to wait for 40 years. Not only 40 years, everyone that was there, they had to pass away in the desert. Right? Everyone had to pass away. Those people that was between 20 and 60 during that time, right? They with the spies, and then at that time they had to. There was a gzeira. They all had to pass away. So now Moshe Rabbeinu is really talking to the next generation, right? He's talking to the younger generation, right? Because all these people now that are there, right? Because this is the last 37 days of his life, right? So we were already past the 40 years, right? So all these people standing there now that Moshe Rabbeinu is talking to, the 600,000 he's talking to now, are not those people from then. The only two people that were left were Yeshua ben Nun and Kalev ben Yefunah, right? Yeshua ben Nun was one that he because both Yeshua and Kalev, when they came back, they didn't give a bad report, so they weren't penalized because of everybody else. They were able to go into Eretz Yisroel. So they were the only ones standing there. Moshe Rabbeinu, Kalev ben Yefunah, and Yeshua ben Nun. Everyone else was the younger generation. It's unbelievable to think about it. All the other people passed away. But Moshe Rabbeinu is giving them the rebuke now. But it's interesting to think. He's giving the rebuke to them, but these weren't the people that made the mistake.
Right.
It was their fathers. It was their fathers, their grandfathers, but it wasn't them. It wasn't them. We'll talk about that soon. We'll talk about just something to think about. Something to think about. Okay. So mechir chaysamat shegamu ika baderech lovei le'etzol ad erudim esamei abim shalom v'chol zeh ayedei chet ha'egel. We know the chet ha'egel, right? The chet of the golden calf. V'hamaraglim, like we spoke about the spies. Shek pogmu be'emunah. Of course, we understand the whole thing is emunah, right? Of course, the golden calf was an idol, so of course that's a pagam in the emunah, right? You don't believe in Hashem; they served an idol, and of course the spies are also pagam in emunah because again Hashem told them that the land is a good land, right? The land is a good land, and they didn't believe. In these things, you don't believe in Hashem. The whole idea of coming to Eretz Yisroel, the whole idea of Eretz Yisroel is Emunah. Koyach Masav, the Koyach of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Koyach of the actions of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu told us that the land is a good land. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we already saw, we had the Mulchama with Sichon and Oig, right? And we had all these wars, right? And Oig Melech Habash, he was a big giant, right? So they came back and they said that they were giants. Okay, so hey, Hashem showed you, hey, we just had a war with a giant. We took care of him, right? What was the problem? we won the war easily. It was no problem, right? We won the war. We won, right? We wiped out last week. We wiped out. We went to what do you call it? to Midian, right? We went to Midian and we wiped them out, right? We came back with all the spoils, right? We didn't go to Moav, right? We'll talk about that. We're going to see there's a piece. We have a piece on that. Why we didn't go to Moav, right? Moav was the ones that actually gave the idea, right? It came from Moav. They sent the ladies from Moav, and so why did we save them? We saved them. Why? Because we know Rus came from Moav, right? She was a Moaviyah, right? And we know that's where the Yeshua is going to come. David HaMelech comes from Rus, and that's why we were spared, even for one person. Think about it. Unbelievable. One person. not just a stam person, right? Rus, right? But she came from there. So for that, the Torah says no, that we're not gonna knock them out. So notice, could you imagine that? So listen to this. So one person. So can we imagine how much each one of us, how important every Yid is, how important every single Jew is, right? If the Midyanim, for one person, we have to save a whole nation. The whole nation couldn't be attacked because if Rus is going to come from the nation. Could you imagine Alachas Kama V'Kama, how it is with a Yid, right? Every single Jew, how important they are. Unbelievable. Anyway, okay, the Hainu. Shemaminim Shashem Yisborach Bara Hakol. This is what we have to believe. That we have to believe that Hashem created everything. Bara Hakol. Kimaisha Kosta Bereshis Bara Lekim Eser Shemayim V'Asaretz. We know the pasuk, right? Hashem made the heavens and the earth. He made everything. Ukeritzayin Uveritzayin Nosna Lahem Uveritzayin Lokach Mehem. Right, and we know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave it to the 10 nations, right? And he took it away from them, right? That's the first Rashi in Chumash, right? Right? He quotes from Yitzchak, right? HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and that's what maybe President Herzog we should send him this thing here. He should read this to the Congress today. Hey guys, you should understand it's not theirs. Yeah, you're right. They had a claim, but it's not theirs no more. It's gone, finished. Hashem took it away from them. If we only believed it, mamish, with all our hearts, we would be able to say it. And then they would run away. And then they would mamish go away. But okay. That's why it's a Rosh Chodesh Menachemov now, right? Okay. V'heim pogmu bazeh. And they had a pagam in this. V'al yedei zeh gormu lahem ikuv kol kach. And that's why they had They had the big obstacles in the way, and they had the ikuvim. They were stopped from going into Eretz Yisrael. V'zeh garam lanu kol hachurbanos churban bayis rishon v'sheni, and that's where the churbanos came from, right? The bayis rishon, the first Beis Hamikdash, bayis sheni, the second Beis Hamikdash. And all the churbanos, everything that we go through, all of the problems and the trials and tribulations Klal Yisrael has been through, it's all because we have a pagam in our Emunah. We don't believe. There are those that do believe, right? There are those that do, and those are the guys that are, these are all of the families, like even in Eretz Yisroel today, right? All of the families that live in Yehuda and the Shomron, right? That are over the green line, right? The green line, whatever that means, right? These are people, right? The people that live in the Shomron. Look what goes on over there, but they believe it's their land. They mamish believe in it, and that's why we're gonna be successful. We're gonna be successful because of these families that mamish believe it's our land, and they're not gonna give up. They're going to be successful. But anyway, that's where all the churbanos come from. And that's where the Sitra Achad, the other side, gets his power from. To send us out, to chase us out of our land. To chase us out of Eretz Yisroel. Where? Well, we're not maminim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants us to believe in him. We have to believe in the Rabbeinu. We have to believe in the promises of Hashem. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, right? Tamid einei Hashem elekecha bo mereishis hashana ad achar shana. Right? We have to believe that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is mamish paying very close attention. Of course, Hashem pays attention to everything in the world. Of course, every single, the smallest thing HaKadosh Baruch Hu pays attention to. Of course. But the Torah says, Hashem says, that he pays special attention to Eretz Yisroel, special attention. And again, when we show our Emunah, so then that's how we can be successful. A lot of people ask me, because I have this chus Baruch Hashem, I live in Efrat. And so when you live in Efrat, so you can get in the car, and you can drive 25 minutes if I go If I go north, I can go to Yerushalayim. And if I drive about 20-25 minutes, I could be mamish in the heart of Yerushalayim, and I could be right by the Kaisel Maravi. And if I go south 25 minutes, I could be at Maras HaMachpelah. How do you like that? 25 minutes to the right, you'd be by the Kaisel Maravi, by the base Hamikdash is going to stand. And if you go 25 minutes to the left, you go to south. On the 60, you go south. You can mamish be in there. You can be in the Maras HaMachpelah. And people ask me, how you go to the Maras HaMachpelah? You drive there? You don't go on a bulletproof bus? Well, what do you mean? You drive there? Right? All these guys, they need to go with a bulletproof bus. They need to do this. I'll tell you a cute thing. My wife is on these different groups she is. So one time there was a family, a wealthy family that came to Eretz Yisroel very recently. This was a few months ago, and they wanted to walk on Shabbos to the Kaisel, but they didn't want to walk to the Kaisel themselves. They needed an armed guard to walk with them. You hear this? They needed an armed guard to walk with them. All right, so my wife, she works with this beautiful place called the Pinat Cham, which is a beautiful place, and it's Soma Dagush where all the soldiers get together and they make them coffee and they give them cake and they have a place to relax. The soldiers can come in on a hot day. They give them sometime a slushy. They call it a barad, right? So she knows a couple of these chayalim. So she sent a message to them. Would any of them want to make some money? Because these people want to pay good money. If you stay in Yerushalayim, they're staying in a fancy hotel, one of the fancy hotels. They'll give you a room. They'll pay you, and they'll give you good food for Shabbos. So of course, one of the soldiers said he would love to do it. So he joined them for Shabbos. They paid him about $300. Plus they gave him a room and they gave him food. I'm just showing you. In other words, look, how many people walk to the Kaisel all the time? Right? In Yerushalayim. They're on Shabbos, they're literally hundreds, thousands of people are walking in the streets, thousands of people. They don't have security, but we have to believe it's our land. People ask me, how do you drive that? I said like this, there's a lot of people that own property in bad neighborhoods, right? Some people own property, right? They own property, and it's always not the nicest neighborhood, right? And but let me ask you a question. When they have to pick up their rent, do they go pick up their rent? They go there, right? Because it's their property, right? So they'll go knock on the door and they'll ask for the rent, right? Maybe I won't go there, maybe you won't go there, but if it's their property, they'll go there. So I say to the people, you want to know how I go there? This is our land. This is my land. This is my land. This is our land. So what am I? I'm not going to go. I'm not going to drive in my own land. I'm not going to drive to Maras HaMachpelah. And Baruch Hashem, Hashem, we went every time we're safe. Baruch Hashem. I went a lot of times. Baruch Hashem. And all the guys in the front, they go a lot. Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. Listen, this is our land. We prove it's our land because we're there. And that's what it all is. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants us to show and to have Emunah in our land. To have Emunah. Because if we show Emunah, that's when they fear us. And that's when they fear us, when we show them that we're not scared. When we're not scared. The whole thing is Emunah. He was told over to his nation. HaKadosh Baruch Hu told us this. And therefore we read this right before Tisha B'Av. All the time, the Shabbos before Tisha B'Av, we read this. The whole idea that we have to remember that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the Manik HaOlam. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the Manik. He's running the world. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu runs everything the way He wants to run it. And nobody, no president, no nothing can tell the Rebbeinu Shalom what He's going to do. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu will have whoever He wants, wherever He wants, whatever He wants. And we have to mamish believe that. And via believing that, that's how we'll see the biggest Yeshuas. Okay, so this is one reason why we read this, to give us the reminder that Moshe Rabbeinu is giving us the reminder in Sefer Devarim. Guys, this is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Remember, look at all of the miracles Hashem did for you. Look, you were enslaved in Mitzrayim. And look how HaKadosh Baruch Hu made a joke out of the Mitzrayim. Look how Hashem made a joke out of the Mitzrayim. Can I ask you a question, the Yidden? Right? They knew that Mitzrayim was the most powerful country in the world. Right? They knew that. Because they were enslaved to Mitzrayim, right? And they saw what Hashem did to the most powerful country in the world. They had the greatest technology, right? They made a wheel, right? That was their big technology at the time. They made a wheel, right? Their chariots had wheels on it. Unbelievable, right? we laugh about it today, but it was big then. It was big then, right? And again, and then when we come, we're mamash 11 days. We went and we're standing by Har Seir. We're standing over there by Kodesh Barneh. We're standing there. We're mamash Odad in Eretz Yisroel. And we had the pagam. We didn't believe. Guys, how long ago was it that you saw what Hashem did to Mitzrayim? Look what you saw. Look what you saw by the Kriyas Yamsuf, right? Hashem split the sea, right? And all of the Egyptians that were left, they were stacked up on the Sfas Hayam, on the beach over there. They were stacked up, right? Unbelievable. We saw that. They saw it with their own eyes. This wasn't, I told you the story, I heard this and I saw it. No, they mamish were there, right, Ernie? The guys were there, right? Rabbi Yehuda, they were there. They were there. They saw it. They experienced it. So now, you got these guys over here in Eretz Yisroel that don't have nearly the technology and the wherewithal that the Mitzrayim had. Now we're going to be worried about them. Why would they be worried about them? HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, this is a good land. This is a land that you're going to take over. I'm going to give you the land. This is what all it is. So then again, like Rabbi Yehudi, you were just saying that the President Herzog, he should have the seichel. He should have the seichel when he meets with the Congress in about another half an hour, right? He's going to meet with the Congress. He should tell them the way it is. Be a mamin, B'Hashem. Don't be scared of them. Don't try to patronize them. Tell them the truth. Tell them the truth. What are you doing here? Tell them the truth. This is what the message from the Parshas Moshe Rabbeinu is telling us, and perhaps he's talking to the president now, to Herzog. He's telling him in this Parsha here, tell them the truth. Tell them the truth. Tell them that Eretz Yisroel is our land. It's our land. It's not their land. And tell them that their stupid idea of the two-state solution is the craziest thing possible. If now they're not good, you're going to give them a state and then they're going to be good, right? They tell you now they want to kill everybody. I mean, they pay people millions of dollars when they kill a yid, right? So these are people we're going to make peace with. Tell them that. Why? I know that he doesn't know that. We know this and he doesn't know that. Let him say it in Eretz Hashem. And in Eretz Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will send us Mashiach Tzidkenu B'Karav B'Yameinu.